How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. I got a comment the other day from a person who said affirmations are a load of bollocks. They don't work. And I have to admit, you're right. Affirmations don't work if you don't allow them to work, right? If you think that they don't work, then they don't work. For me, they work, right? They work because affirmations are my antidote to my own negativity. Right? When I have negative thoughts, I've got a whole load of different affirmations that I use that I can say to myself over and over again, and I can brainwash my own mind into believing something different. And that's all we do anyway. You know, self-talk, what we say to ourselves in our own heads, is the biggest influence over our lives, right? Whether we like it or not. And you can give yourself negative self-talk, or you can give yourself positive self-talk, and it's all up to you. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference. You know, you've got the opportunity to sit down and carefully think out the sentences that you use on yourself, the words that you use on yourself. Words are powerful. You know, sentences that you say to yourself over and over again are so powerful, and they can alter the course of your life, right? Not just in the long term, but in the short term. When I started out this journey, when I first quit drinking, I had a load of different affirmations that I used. And I used to get up in the morning, first thing I'd do would be drink my water, and then I'd sit down with a cup of tea, and I'd take out a pad. I had an A4 sort of legal type pad, and I'd write my 20 affirmations out, and as I was writing them out, I'd say them to myself. And I'd do the same thing in the evening, and I had a list of those affirmations in my pocket in a plastic folder, and I'd take those out when I was feeling crap about myself, feeling crap about my decision to quit drinking, or whatever, you know. I just take out these list of affirmations. One of the affirmations in particular was, I'm not grieving the death of alcohol. Alcohol is my enemy, and I won't grieve its passing. Something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was something along those lines. I mean, I don't need it anymore, so I don't use it anymore. I have completely different ones that I use for myself now. And over time, that affirmation changed, right, from being alcohol is my enemy to alcohol is a bastard, you know. And I got worse and worse with the language that I used at it, but it doesn't make any difference. Nobody else is going to hear these things, nobody else is going to see them, so you can use whatever you want. What I'm saying is that you have your own opportunity to do this. When I did it for myself, it worked because I repeated them over and over in my own head. It's, you know, just as you are brainwashed by all the marketing that goes on out there, by your mates, by all your peers, you're also going to be brainwashed by yourself, right? As I said, you know, you're mostly going to be influenced by the words that you say to yourself over and over in your own mind. And whether you want to say positive things to yourself or whether you want to say negative things to yourself, they both work equally well, right? If you want to consistently be negative and repeat negative statements, that's what's going to happen in your life. If you bring negativity into your life, then unfortunately that's basically what you're going to have, negativity all over. So you might as well bring positivity, and affirmations are just carefully structured lines of good brainwashing that you sit down and think about for yourself, that you want to bring into your own life, right? You tell yourself over and over again that I'm a self-confident person, if that's what you want to get in your life, if you want to get self-confidence. So in order for these to be effective, these affirmations to be effective, they've got to be positive for a start. They've got to be very specific about a specific thing that you want in your life. They've got to be personal, so they've got to be about you, and they've got to be written in the present moment, so that you're writing them as if you've already done the thing, as if you're living in the present. You're doing it now. You're doing what you are trying to achieve in your life, right? You know, this is just another tool for you to use when you want to self-direct your own behavior. That's the bones of it. You know, it's no more or no less than that, you know. If, as any other tool, if you use it in the wrong way, or if you don't think it's going to work, then it's not going to work, you know. So that's basically it. This channel is all about that. My philosophy is all about self-directed behavior. You know, the more you can direct your own behavior, the more control you've got over yourself. The more you say to yourself, I might be an alcoholic, or I'm susceptible to, you know, the alcohol disease. The more you think about yourself in recovery, in a, you know, you put yourself into a box and you label yourself into a certain different cul-de-sacs, right? Then the less control you've got over yourself. So affirmations is just one way of bringing you control, right? It's no more or no less than that. So, you know, if you want to use these things, then use them. If you don't want to use them, no skin off my nose, you know. They work for me, they don't work for some people. And my own theory of why they don't work for some people is because people don't believe that they work. But I'm telling you, they do work, you know. If you say to yourself over and over again, like, have you ever seen somebody who is going to take a bungee jump, right? And not that I would ever take a bungee jump, it's not my thing, right? But somebody's stood there on the edge of the platform, looking out over the chasm below them, right? They've got this fucking piece of elastic tied to their feet, and everyone else is saying to them, no, you'll be all right, you know, you'll be all right, you know, when you go down there. And there is always somebody, there's people who will go, no worries, and they'll just dive off the thing, right? And take the risk, you know, and take the consequences as they come, right? And there's always going to be somebody who is there and they'll go, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I don't want to do this. And however much they've wound themselves up to actually being in that position, on the edge of that precipice, at that moment, they've gone so far as to get themselves into the harness, they've got the elastic tied around their feet, and they don't do it because they talk themselves out of it. That is an affirmation, right? It's the same thing, it's self-talk, whether it's positive or negative, right? So you can either talk yourself into something or you can talk yourself out of it. So if you believe that you can talk yourself out of something, then why can't you believe that you can talk yourself into something? You know, that's all it is. You know, it's given this label, affirmation, but you could call it whatever you want. Positive self-talk is probably a better way of doing this, but affirmation I like because it means that it's structured. It's a sentence that you use, a structured sentence that you use, that you repeat to yourself over and over again until you memorize it, until it's a part of you. That was my 20 affirmations. I wrote those so many times, morning and night. As I was writing them, I was speaking them. Then after I'd written them down, I went through them again and spoke them out loud again. And I did the same thing in the evening. And as I said, every time I needed to bring out my affirmations, I'd do it, you know. And I committed them to memory. By the end of a month, I could write those things down without even looking, word for word, without looking at what I'd written down before. And they really stuck in my mind, you know. So, and they helped me through those bad times, you know. If you get a craving or you have a symptom, and you can pull out an affirmation that says, I am no longer a drinker, you know, alcohol is an evil bastard, and I'm never going to put the stuff into my mouth again, you know, and affirmations like that, you know, just sentences that you use for your own benefit. So that's all they are. If you want to use them, use them. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. If you believe that they don't work, they're not going to work for you, you know. So if you have any questions at all about this, any comments, any stories about your own affirmations or how you've used them in your own life or what affirmations you've used, then that would be very helpful for everyone. Please leave them down below in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, stay safe, keep the alcohol out your mouth, onwards and upwards.